I don't know what it was. He's walking upright like a man.
Sightings in and around Vermont.
Bigfoot sightings across New England have been reported.
Red glowing eyes, about 7 feet tall.
Red eyes, big old fangs, claws coming out through 3 inches long, just sharp as they can be.
There has been another UFO sighting flying over the Royal Botanic Gardens. There are 500 UFO sightings in the world every month. The truth is out there.
So it turns out this is our New Year's episode.
Oh, yeah.
Because this happens just before New Year's that this will be released. I think the 30th.
Yeah.
My sense of time is totally destroyed right now.
Yeah, that's
because I've been
fair.
on vacation. And time is a social construct. That's all I have to say.
That's fair. I have 2 weeks off, and time is weird now.
Yeah, I'm there too. Honestly, I have off technically until the 2nd.
I'm off till the 6th.
But there's only 2 days that I'll be working then, and I think most people are not even going to be working, so I'm going to just take 2 personal days. Because I honestly don't want to go back to work yet.
That is fair. That's just fair.
But so the whatchamacallit, the 2010, the teens is gonna be over from the time of recording in like 4 days. From the time of you're listening, it's either already over or it ends in 2 days.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild to me.
Crazy.
Because I still think that it's like 2009. Like a lot.
Yeah.
Like
2009 was a good year.
Well, we graduated high school in 2009.
That's a decent year. 2010 was pretty good.
2010 I could take or leave.
Yeah.
But it was definitely something. Oh, cool. They have a quintessent judge. I was on Cybertron before you got on.
I was like, I don't even know what that is. I'm assuming that's a Transformers thing.
Yeah. They have quintessons and quintessence in the Cyberverse line.
Oh, okay.
Which is really cool because it's like from the Transformers movie, the thing that's face switches around.
Yes.
And it has like the 3 judges and the 4 judges and what have you. Mm-hmm. So they did they're doing a figure for that, but I also don't want the Prowl and Soundwave that come with it. So whatever. I'm not going to buy it. Anywho, I was just about, I don't even know what I was going to say. I was like thinking about this in the car. Listen, listeners, I told Brandon this before. I am tired. It is currently 2:11 p.m. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning, and I was driving around since 8. So my brain is in a state, and this is an episode I'm leading the research on.
Oh, yeah. You left my house last night, and you're like, bye, I have to go write tomorrow's episode. And I was like, oh, you're going to have so much fun.
I got home at, I left your house around 8:30, so I got home around 9:07, somewhere in that time frame. I then sat down with the book for this episode that I read in 2 days, reminding you I had time off. I just didn't do anything with it.
Oh.
And then I sat down and wrote this episode in about 3 hours, and then I wrote another, like a coda, in 12 minutes.
Yeah. You're like, I'm ready to record. I popped online. You're like, hang on, I'm just doing some finishing touches.
Also, this is the longest episode I've ever written.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is horrifying to me.
Yeah.
Because... So, I don't want to start the episode yet, because I want to do more talky talk, but at the same time, I feel like I should start the episode, because there's literally 3,200 words for this episode.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Anywho, you know what? Let's get into the episode, because this is going to be a long one.
Okay.
Let's see, something about the myths that haunt the human mind. something about cryptids and all sorts of stuff like that. That's what this podcast's about, right?
Yeah.
Listen to another episode. Listen to, what is this, an even-numbered episode?
Yeah, listen to an odd number episode.
Listen to a non-odd number episode.
Yeah.
If you listen to odd number episodes, Brandon does it every week. Every time he does an episode. So odd numbered episodes, they always have the correct thing. Even number ones, you get this. I'm sorry. It's just what you get.
That's fair.
So, I'm John.
I'm Brandon.
And this week, I'm doing a continuation of a accidental series.
Oh, okay.
So, if you'll remember, the last 2 episodes that I did were Momo, the Missouri Monster.
Yes.
Which was, I think, 2 episodes ago that I did.
Was it 2 episodes ago? I'll take your word for it. There's
I think it's like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And following that, I did the Honey Island Swamp Monster.
Okay.
During the Honey Island Swamp Monster episode, I may have made a reference to something. And I decided to do research on that this week.
Okay.
So, Brandon.
Yes.
I want you to take a guess. This week's cryptid was first sighted. Honestly, I don't know when it was first sighted. Because
it's one of those.
It's one of those where... So, there was a big sighting in 1971.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one that put it on the map.
Yeah.
But there's reports that it could have been sighted in 55, 65, and 1908.
In 1908, okay.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a range for this one. It is a Sasquatch. But it's a specific type of Sasquatch. And it's from Arkansas.
There's...
That was a pronunciation.
I'm thinking... So I've only got one guess. I'm sure it's wrong because it's more south than Arkansas. But I was going to say the skunk ape or the...
It's really close.
The what's that one? The boggy. The boggy.
You're close.
The Boggy Creek monster.
Yep. Yeah. So the movie was The Legend of Boggy Creek.
Yeah. Okay. The Legend. Okay. Boggy Creek. All right.
The monster is called by a lot the Fouke monster.
Okay.
Wait, Fouke. Because
Fouke.
Okay.
Is it Fouke?
So I was unable to find. Well, for one thing, I didn't watch The Legend of Boggy Creek for this. Mainly because it's on Shudder, and VRV doesn't have Shudder anymore, and I'm actually really upset about that. But so I don't actually know how the town is actually pronounced.
Yeah.
I think it's Fouke because Wikipedia says the OU is pronounced like OU in mouth.
Oh, all right.
So I think it's the Fouke monster. But I could be wrong.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Not that I don't care, about being right. It's just I'm bad at pronouncing stuff. I can't even pronounce Arkansas properly, as shown in this very episode. So it is in the broadcasted folder right now.
Nice. I like the picture.
Yeah, it's a good picture. It's a very good picture.
He has glowing red eyes.
Yeah, he does. That is a hallmark of him. So, Fouke, Arkansas.
This is 14 pages long.
Yes, I know. I can't speak. I can't say Arkansas. Wow! Every time I say it different.
Arkansas.
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 I think it's Arkansas.
Yeah, here's the thing. That's not how letters work. It's
It's Arkansas.
It's Arkansas.
But every time it's like what is it? Colonel?
Oh, Colonel.
Yeah. How long did it take for you to realize that Colonel was spelled colonel?
It was after I finished the Ender's Game books.
Yes,
like
definitely.
I learned it like right after I finished both of them. So I was like, wait, I was reading this wrong in my head the whole time.
Yeah, it kind of changes the tone of the book when you think it's a colonel who's basically having kids commit war crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good books.
Yeah. Orson Scott Card is kind of an asshole, too.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. Death of the author, whatever. So, Fouke was the way I was going to say it. Sorry. I thought about this last night, like, really hard, and I just didn't do it. So, Fouke, Arkansas is a small town in western Arkansas in the Texarkana, which is a wild city because it's like half in Texas, half in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas? Wow, I cannot pronounce.
It's Fouke. I just Google it. It says
Fouke?
Fouke Arkansas rhymes with poke.
Okay, so Fouke, the folk monster. Okay. That's it. That's how we're pronouncing it. It's also easier to say it that way because it's not weird.
Yeah.
So, Texarkana is like a city that's divided in the middle with half of it in Texas and half of it in Arkansas.
Okay.
Hence, Texarkana.
Yeah.
I will say this. There is an absolutely hilarious dub called Lake Texarkana, which dubs the 1996 Gamera 2 movie to make all the voices be redneck drawls.
Wait, this is an hour long.
Yeah. Just click into a random point of it. It's phenomenal.
Lots of dramatic music.
Well, yeah, because it's a Gamera movie, so.
Wait. I just heard a harmonica that's definitely not in the original.
Nope.
No one's spoken yet, but there's harmonicas?
What part? What time stamp are you on?
Oh, this is so good. 41 minutes and 11 seconds.
All right, let me get there.
The harmonica's at 36 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, it's really great. Cause
that's so good.
Oh my god, the harmonica got me. It got me real good. If you haven't seen this, I recommend seeing it. I think that the Gamera Legacy Collection, Gamera Collection.
Oh, wow.
It's really funny. It's really, really funny.
This is so good.
One of the Gamera one of the Gamera Blu-ray collections, the one that has the Heisei era films, that one, I believe, has that dub on it. Okay?
This is amazing. I know what I'm watching after this.
Oh, no. Brandon, I could lend you the Blu-ray that has this on it because it's phenomenal.
I wasn't paying attention because I was too in awe. This is included on an official disc.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's just too good.
This is included on an official Gamera 2 disc. I am not joking. I have the disc that this is on. Because I have all the Gamera movies because I'm kaiju trash.
Yep.
And it's hilarious. So funny. Anywho,
yeah.
It's like literally so Fouke, Arkansas is literally like 15, 20 miles south of like the main metropolitan area of Texarkana. And its current population is 895.
Okay.
So it's a bustling metropolis.
Oh, yeah.
And it's located at the intersection of U.S. Highway 71, which is actually important because most of the episode happens on that highway, and Interstate 49. The town was founded by a Seventh-day Baptist minister, James Franklin Shaw.
So just to cut you off, you made that's a bustling metropolis joke. The population of the town where I grew up before I moved, 451.
Yeah, and that's like a square mile.
Yeah, it's like so tiny. I think. Well, wait. Let's see.
No, it's that area. The area of where you grew up is really small. I'm not going to name it on the episode because family members of yours still live there.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other thing about Fouke is
Listen,
it's very
I just Googled
rural.
It's 2.395 square miles. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. I had half of it.
Yeah.
I underestimated by half.
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, where you grew up, really, it's like a town, but it's like the weirdest definition of a town I've ever seen.
Well, it's a hamlet.
Yeah, that's true. It is a hamlet. So,
Yeah.
But it's like it's weird because it's like in the greater area. I don't know. The towns where we grew up are really weird.
Yes.
Really weird, and they change. So I swear that you can go from one town into another town and back into the original town by just driving straight.
In a straight line, yes.
Yeah, you can do that. I've done that.
Yeah.
And it's not like the road doesn't move or wiggle. You're going straight.
Oh, yeah. Also, the name of the road will change, but you're
Yes.
on the same road.
Yeah. So I honestly, when I navigate this area, I don't use road names. I use landmarks because it's way easier.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho, unless it's 209.
Yeah.
209 stays the same pretty much the whole way
Yeah.
until you hit Port Jervis or Rhinebeck. But the rest of it's the same.
Yeah.
One time, Fouke was visiting me.
Yeah.
And they went the wrong way on 209.
Oh, where did they end up?
Pennsylvania. Anywho.
You're like, man, John's house is really farther away than I remember. Actually,
Yeah.
even in Kingston, the main road, depending on where on Ulster you're at, it's Albany or Ulster Avenue. It's the same road.
Well, 9W is also a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
It's not it is the most confusing road ever once you get to Kingston. Because it's like, oh, I'm still on 9W because there's like a turn in the road, like a right turn where you're going on different roads, but they're all a part of 9W.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. Anywho, getting back to the story because this is a long one.
Oh, yeah.
The town was founded by a Seventh-day Baptist minister, James Franklin Shaw, in 1890 to establish a colony where people didn't work on Saturday instead of the usual Sunday.
Okay.
Because that's what Seventh-day Baptists are all about. Like the Sabbath is a Saturday, kind of like it's kind of in the same vein as the Jewish tradition.
Okay.
The town derives its name from a nearby Jonesville resident, James Fouke, who provided some of the land for the colony. The Wikipedia page says colony, and I guess it kind of works because it's a religious colony.
Okay.
But it was like incorporated in like 1905 or something like that. The town is best known for two things. One, being a nexus point for illegal trafficking during Prohibition.
Nice.
It was in a really good location for it. There was like a train station. It was like real close to Louisiana. It was real close to Texas, and it was in Arkansas. So it's like in the perfect tri-state area for just illegal shit.
Yeah.
Kind of like what was it? The Scarecrow of Chiang Rai. That was another one that where there was a monster in an area that was very, very contentious, to say the least. And more importantly, it's known for being the birthplace of the 1972 B-movie cult classic, The Legend of Boggy Creek, and it's like 3 sequels, which are all terrible.
Oh, I didn't know there were sequels at all.
Yes,
I was unaware.
There's a Mystery Science Theater episode about The Legend of Boggy Creek 2, I believe. I didn't check if it was on Netflix, but I think I have a copy of it because I backed the Kickstarter.
Okay.
So if you want it, I can get you basically any episode. I'm basically a Mystery Science Theater 3000 drug dealer at this point.
Nice.
Although I can't get you Gamera or Godzilla versus Megalon because the rights got all fucky with those.
Yeah.
Regardless. So naturally, because this is Cryptopedia, we're gonna ignore the cryptids and we're gonna delve into the intricacies of Prohibition, which is why this is 14 pages long.
Oh, good.
Anywho, so May 3rd, 1971, the legend becomes known. That's the title I gave this one.
Nice.
Before starting, I want to call out the primary source that I'm structuring this episode around. To learn the general story of this week's monster, because I only knew about the Fouke monster from the Legend of Boggy Creek. I didn't really know the Fouke monster. I read the book, The Beast of Boggy Creek, The True Story of the Fouke Monster by Lyle Blackburn.
All right, what's up, Lau?
Yeah, that's the second time I've used him as a source. I think I used him for Momo as well.
Okay.
He's from Texas, and he does a lot of cryptid writing. He's very credulous, but he does do a good job of like documenting everything and saying this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, yada yada yada.
Okay.
I will say, in no way, shape, or form am I going to cover every instance of the Boggy Creek sighting because it spans about 70 years at this point.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And it's still supposedly being seen to this day. Supposedly.
Okay.
So, and honestly, most of the stories are literally the same. So I'm going to be telling the ones that are, like, different. Because most of them are like, I was driving down the road and I saw a tall guy who was not a guy, but a monster. That's most of them. Just for reference. So, an article appeared in the Texarkana Gazette on May 3rd, 1971, by Jim Powell about an event with a monster and a new resident in the town of Fouke. Because the article is actually really well written and concise, and a pretty awesome description of the event, like literally the best description I saw, and until I read the article, I didn't understand what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just read it because it's good, and we can pick it apart as we go through it. But there's actually some decent writing here, which impressed me.
Yeah.
So good on you, Jim Powell. Hairy monster hunted in Fouke sector, because it's a portion of the metropolis, so it's like a sector of Texarkana. Bobby Ford, 25, and it literally lists his like P.O. box number and where he lives. Who lives approximately 10 miles south of Texarkana on U.S. Highway 71.
Nice.
Said that the unidentified creature attacked him at his home shortly before midnight on Saturday.
Okay.
Ford was treated at St. Michael Hospital for minor scratches and mild shock and released.
Okay.
After the thing grabbed me and I broke free, I was moving so fast I didn't stop to open the door. I just ran through it, Ford said. The creature, in quotes, was described by Ford as being 7 feet tall and about 3 feet wide across the chest. At first, I thought it was a bear, but it runs upright and moves real fast, he said. Ford, his brother Don, and Charles Taylor saw the creature several times shortly after midnight and shot at it 7 times with a shotgun. 7 times.
Did they hit
That's
it?
a lot.
I hope they hit it. That's a lot.
No, apparently not. I don't think they did, because it didn't go down. Whatever it was, if you hit it 7 times with a shotgun, it's going to go down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true.
It first started Wednesday when our wives heard something around the porch. Then, Friday night about midnight, the thing tried to break into the house again. Last night, Sunday, it tried to get in again, Don Ford said. Elizabeth Ford said she was sleeping in the front room of the frame house when I saw the curtain moving on the front window and a hand sticking through the window. At first, I thought it was a bear's paw, but it didn't look like that.
I thought it was our neighbor Pervy Dan.
Pervy Dan?
Pervy Dan.
Is that Honey Dipper Dan's weird cousin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I'd say Honey Dipper Dan is Pervy Dan would say Honey Dipper Dan's his weird cousin, but you know,
that's
it's
true.
all about perspective, man.
It's what your thing is. I mean, that's Honey Dipper Dan's thing.
It really is. But you know what? He's good at it.
He's very good at it. He's very
you
good.
You gotta let him chase his bliss.
Yeah.
If you don't understand what Johnny Dipper Dan is, he's a recurring character on the podcast.
Oh yeah,
at this point.
think I ended an episode with the whole Honey Dipper Dan song once.
You definitely did,
Yeah.
and it was great.
Yes.
I don't remember the episode number, but it was really good.
Yeah.
Where was I? At first I thought it was a bear's paw, but it didn't look like that. It had heavy hair all over it, and it had claws. I could see its eyes. They looked like coals of fire. Real red, she said. It didn't make any noise, except you could hear it breathing. So, interesting note, the red eyes motif appears again, which
good.
I don't know why red eyes are such a thing in, like, cryptid sightings.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's see, Beast of Bungay, what else? Flatwoods Monster, I think, had red eyes. No, it had yellow eyes. What else had red eyes? Mothman had red eyes.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Did the man bat have red eyes? I don't remember.
I think the man bat might have had red eyes. I think there might have been some cases in which Bat Squatch had red eyes. Every cryptid has had at least a sighting where it's like its eyes were red.
Yeah.
At this point, I feel like. So anywho, I honestly don't know what that is. I honestly think it might be like my hypothesis is that it's like a cultural zeitgeist thing.
I think
where
so.
Spooky things have red eyes, so that's it. Cause like the stereotypical depiction of like a demon will have red eyes.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's one of those things. Whatever. Ford said that they spotted the creature in the back of the house with the aid of a flashlight. We shot several times at it, then called Ernest Walraven, constable of Fouke. He brought us another shotgun and a stronger light. We waited on the porch and then saw the thing closer to the house. We shot again and thought we saw it fall. Bobby, Charles, and myself started walking to where we saw it fall. So apparently they did successfully hit it.
Okay.
In this story. I've forgotten that. About that time, according to Don Ford, they heard the women in the house screaming and Bobby went back. I was walking the rungs of a ladder to get up on the porch when the thing grabbed me. I felt a hairy arm come over my shoulder, and the next thing I knew, we were on the ground. The only thing I could think was about how to get out of there. The thing was breathing real hard, and its eyes were the size of a $50 and real red. So, once again, we're talking red eyes. We're talking basically we're talking the Mothman again, because that's literally the description the Mothman had.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like point for point, except for the fact that this one's hairy and not a moth.
Yeah.
That's literally the only difference.
Uh-huh.
I finally broke away and ran around the house and through the front door. I don't know where he went. Yeah. To be fair, if I was in that situation, I probably wouldn't do anything different.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I'm not a fighter.
No,
I'm not a fighter. I don't have a fight or flight reflex. I have a flight reflex.
Yes, I've got a flight or flight reflex. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's
I run away or fly. I can fly with my flight or flight.
Oh man, I wish I could fly with my flight or flight.
It's pretty cool. It's the best. It really weirds out some people.
Yeah. It's really weird because it triggers in awkward situations too. Because I just like float away. Oh man, I wish I had a flight or flight reflex that one time in the mall. When I ruined a Chinese restaurant for us forever.
Yes.
Yeah. So we heard Bobby shouting, and by the time we got there, everything was over. We didn't see a thing, Bobby Ford said. We heard Bobby shouting, and by the time we got there, everything was over. We didn't see a thing, Don Ford said. Everyone at the house said they saw the creature moving in the fields close to the house. All said it could move fast. Walraven, who was the constable, said he was called to the scene about 12:35 a.m., Sunday, May 2nd, and searched the area without finding anything. I looked through the surrounding fields and woods for about an hour. I gave them my shotgun and light. A short time later, they called back and told me they had shot at it again. I went back and stayed until 5 a.m. So he comes out, gives scared people a gun.
Good idea. Good idea.
And a flashlight. Yeah, this whole story is just one good idea after another.
It sounds like it.
It's really good. Walraven said several years ago, a resident of Jonesville community near Fouke reported seeing a hairy monster in the area. Several persons saw the thing and shot at it, some from close range. They said nothing seemed to stop it. They described it as being 7 feet tall and looking just like a naked man covered with brown hair.
Nice.
Said. Which...
Danny DeVito. It's Danny DeVito. Everything's Danny DeVito.
It's giant. It's Danny DeVito on stilts.
It's Danny. Yeah, that's true. That's
Danny DeVito on
tall.
stilts. That's it. And he's wearing red sunglasses for whatever reason.
Yes.
It's a style choice.
I
honestly.
like it. It's a good style.
It worked from that one episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia when he pretended to be like the Edna Mode like character.
Yeah.
And he got obsessed with a painting. Like super obsessed with the painting. Oh man, what was it? It was like it made him feel things and like he heard World War II sounds and stuff like that. It was really weird. It was a really good episode. They lost a lot of money to that artist. Like that not artist, but the art show curator or whatever the heck it is. Am I recording? Yeah. That would have been terrible.
That would have been the worst.
For whatever reason, I was not confident I had been recording. So, anywho, all that remained on Sunday morning at the Fort House.
Wait, how many monitors do you have set up?
One.
What?
Because I'm in my office.
Yeah.
And I only carry the one upstairs. I'm still working. Like it's only been a year and a couple months.
Yeah.
But I'm still not completely happy with my setup for this podcast. Anywho, all that remained Sunday morning at the Fort House was several strange tracks that appeared to be left by something with 3 toes. So, commonality with the Honey Island Swamp Monster, although that had 4 toes. And several scratch marks on the front porch that appeared to have been made by something with 3 claws. So 3 and 3, kind of strange. Several pieces of tin nailed around the bottom of the house have been ripped away, and another window had been damaged by the creature, according to Ford. We plan to stay here tonight and see if we can get that thing if it returns, Don Ford said. I'm not staying here anymore unless they kill that thing, Patricia Ford said. As for Bobby Ford, he said, I've had it here. I'm going back to Ashdown. So they just left.
Oh, good.
Which, to be fair, if something like that happened, I'd probably just leave too, because I don't want to become a horror movie statistic.
Yes.
So I've attached a picture of some 3-toed prints that are associated with the Fouke monster, and I gotta say, they really don't look real at all.
No.
Like,
no, they do not.
I'm sorry, they look like nothing. Like, it's so skinny, it looks like a literal clown shoe. With 3 toes.
Yeah.
And not only that, but there's like no anything to the toes. There's like no, it doesn't look like an actual biological foot. Cause like even the like pressure is even throughout the entire like footprint.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like someone walked. Regardless. This article is the first sighting of what would become more commonly known as the Fouke monster, which was recorded in a newspaper because none of the other sightings were ever reported to a newspaper before this. Hooray!
Woo!
Less than a month later, another sighting of the creature also occurred along Highway 71, running across the road, with even more seeing it over the following weeks. The plaster cast I was discussing was made by Willie Smith, Wiki Wild.
Wiki Wild.
Wiki Wild Wild West.
Yes.
And it measured 13.5 inches long and 4.5 inches wide. So it does not make sense. As I said, literal clown shoes. The tracks are noteworthy for having a stride of 57 inches, and as I said, being similar to the Momo tracks from the episode about a month ago. You're typing a lot.
Yeah.
You typing? Are you looking up the Wild West theme song?
I'm not. No.
No. What are you looking up?
I'm tweeting about the time that we just forgot or thought we forgot we were recording.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm live tweeting our podcast. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now people know how on the edge of our pants we record this podcast.
Yeah.
Now it makes a lot of sense how we missed that one episode.
Oh yeah.
However, as mentioned in the article, this was not the first sighting of the creature. That honor belongs to the residents of Jonesville who lived near the town of Fouke in the 1950s.
Yeah.
Jonesville, 1950s. Not to be confused with Coolsville, the Scooby-Doo town. And it was definitely not a bear. I'm telling you, it's not a bear, Brandon.
It is not a bear.
Everything I'm reading to you, do not think of a bear when I read it. Do not do that. Okay. You got to be thinking of a Sasquatch. Otherwise, we ruin the story.
A Samsquanch.
A Samsquatch.
A Samsquanch.
So, supposedly, Willie Smith, the guy who made the plaster cast in his soybean field, he lays claim to the first sighting of the creature in 1955 near his house on Boggy Creek, a creek which crosses under Highway 71. I actually have a Google Maps view of where the creek crosses the highway.
Yeah.
But it's like towards the bottom of the episode, so
okay.
It's in the show notes. If you want to check it out, you can. It's like it's just a bridge over like a really tiny creek.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a small body of water that is associated with this whole story. It's ridiculous to me. Allegedly, he thought the creature was a man. He shot at him 15 times with an army rifle, but missed.
Okay. I don't judge.
15 times, Brandon.
It's like that time where there was a skunk at my parents' house, and my dad was trying to shoot said skunk, but he claimed that there was something off with the rifle. He was like, "Oh, it's bent" or something like that. I was like, I don't think so. I think it's fine. I think you just can't aim. So then he got my grandparents, his father's 22, and then apparently that one also had the same exact issue. So we just waited for it to go under one of the buildings on our property, and then he was like, "Brandon, come outside," and we just got bluestone and basically walled it in.
So there's just a dead skunk corpse under one of the buildings outside.
Maybe
your house.
he waited a couple days,
house.
but he was afraid to check in case it wasn't dead and would spray him. So it's an unsolved mystery from like at this point 7 years ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want an unsolved mystery episode about the skunk under your family's like outbuilding.
Yeah.
That would be a great episode.
Yes.
Get the current guy who's playing Spock to do the voiceover.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking great. So, apparently shooting at it 15 times was not enough.
No.
So I guess he's like literally the worst shot ever.
I think it's bulletproof, John. I think they're dealing with a bulletproof Sasquatch.
Yeah, because he can't miss 15 times.
Impossible.
Yeah. The creature then appeared again, throwing, and in the book that I was reading, it said throwing chunks at his dogs.
Okay.
Didn't say what the chunks were of, but apparently there were chunks being thrown at a dog, so whatever.
He's as good at shooting Sasquatch as I am at playing SWAT in Halo.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm bad at SWAT too.
I'm so bad.
However, it goes even farther than that, Brandon.
Oh, good.
Apparently his sister saw the creature in 1908.
Oh. Okay.
Personally, I find this story suspect because these stories were not mentioned until after the tracks were found in his soybean field.
Soybean fields. Okay.
Yeah. So the first quote-unquote credible sighting of the creature, in my estimation, is in 1955 by James Crabtree. In his account, James claims to have seen the creature while fishing near Jonesville, and the creature was sitting down like a man washing its feet. I tried to ease up or float up on it, but it stood up and walked off. While not an exciting story, it honestly feels like the most real story to me when talking about a tall person.
Yeah.
Because I can totally get that, where it's just like, man, I just need to wash my feet. My feet are tired. And then some dude just comes up on a boat, and it's just like, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, all right, whatever, I'm leaving. You ruined the mood, dude. So regardless, none of these stories made it into any newspapers until 1971. Lyle Blackburn posits that this is because no resident of the rural community wished to risk their word on an unsubstantiatable story, which kind of rings true to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
At the same time, Occam's razor also said that didn't happen, but, you know.
Yeah.
The only sighting pre-1971 that really has any real meat on it, though, occurred in 1965, which was made by another member of the Crabtree family. Crabtree family becomes a big player in this story at this point.
It seems like it.
In 1965, Lynn Crabtree was hunting squirrels with his 20-gauge shotgun, loaded with squirrel shot. While sitting in a tree, Lynn heard the sound of horses running into the lake and the bellowing of a dog. Curious, he approached the source of the sounds to find him within 30 steps of a hairy man or gorilla-type beast with long arms.
Now, I've never hunted squirrel.
Yes.
But from my understanding on munitions and firearms and the such, they actually they go some distance. So to me, I don't think you have to go into the tree to get said squirrel, because you could probably do it from the ground.
Apparently, I mean, I can get it because maybe he's just up in the tree because he's like wants the squirrels to be running around on the ground.
He's like, hello, fellow squirrels.
Because it might be ground squirrels. Because we got that around here.
Yeah.
So I
don't know,
man.
You could probably also hit a ground squirrel whilst also being on the ground.
You're not wrong. I've never hunted before, Brandon. So I literally, my brain doesn't even know what is valid for hunting. Because it's such like anathema to me because I love animals and I hate the idea of harming an animal.
Oh my god. Okay. So
yeah.
We got some went to a Greek place and came home and just were watching The Witcher, eating some Greek food. And she goes, "Man, they really seasoned these pork chops like weird." Continues nomming on some pork chops and makes another comment. And I look over and I go, "Are you sure?" Because it's a Greek place. And she just saw chops. It's like, all right, I want chops.
Oh!
I had assumed it was what it really was. She doesn't eat Greek much and assumed all chops are pork chops.
Oh, no.
So she goes, "Can you just try this?" And I take one bite and I go, that's lamb chops. It's a Greek place. And then the widest eyes, it was perfect, like very slow, like look, mouth just goes agape, like with food, like just lamb still in it. Like, I'm eating lambs. Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect.
That's very good. That's very good.
Like, just wide eye, mouth agape, slow head turn.
The way you describe that, it's almost as though you told her that it was people.
I might as well have said it was people. That's the exact reaction.
No, that's long pork.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Anywho, so it's fucking funny.
It was so good. And there's like 5 minutes of silence, and like, I think I'm gonna heat up the leftover lasagna.
Listen,
fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Lamb is definitely not for everyone.
No.
Me being one of those people.
Yo, ditto.
Anywho, the creature was around 7 or 8 feet tall with reddish brown hair, with a face obscured by hair, and only a dark brown nose showing flat and close to his face. Thinking it was a man, Lynn aimed at the creature, which seemed to be unfazed. Scared, Lynn shot, keeping in mind he still thought the creature was a man.
Yeah, this is the second person who shot thinking it was another person.
Yes.
There's a lot of people in this story that are okay with just shooting other people.
Yes, it's very bizarre to me. And not only that, but he was aiming for the head.
Oh, good.
Yeah. The beast seemed
and also
unaffected.
just out in the woods. If you think it's another person in or out in the woods, like maybe it's another person hunting or whatever. Like,
yeah. Oh no. My first reaction, if I saw someone that looked like something that looked like a person, would not be to point my gun at it. I'd be like,
yeah,
hey, dude, what's up?
People are apparently just fine with murder in Texarkana.
I guess. The beast seemed unaffected, and Lynn proceeded to fire off 2 more shots before running home. Smokey Crabtree, a major player in the story, Lynn's father, found the gunshots, supposedly consistent with an 8-foot-tall creature, on the tree behind it, where it supposedly was, but no shotgun cells and no tracks. Which makes me question the whole story, but whatever.
It's good that there's a creature that just picks up evidence for you. It's pretty great.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how Sasquatch works. That's how we haven't found it. He's habitually tidy.
Yeah.
He's got like
all Sasquatch have OCD.
Yeah, they've got Hollywood OCD.
That's true.
There we go. Cuz let me tell you something, Monk is not what OCD is like at all.
Not at all. And this is, I think, this podcast might just be 2 people that have been diagnosed with OCD talking about monsters.
Yeah.
Because I know I have.
Like, yes, I have as well.
A doctor's like, you've got this.
Yeah, I'm currently on fluoxetine for both anxiety and OCD. So there we go.
I used to be on the I can't pronounce CITOPROLAM. So same.
Yeah. Honestly, I will say though, fluoxetine works really good for me.
I don't like any of the stuff.
Huh?
Oh, I just didn't like any of the stuff they gave me.
That's fine. For me, it's like I can actually deal with stress now.
Oh, good.
Which is really crazy because I used to not be able to do that.
No.
Yeah. Back in high school, I used to like break out into tears because I literally couldn't handle the stress of having to take tests.
I got a nosebleed once because a road was closed.
Fair. I get that. I actually get that. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
So yeah. Our obsessive compulsive Sasquatch,
which I deal with so much better now. I used to drive all the way to Stone Ridge to put gas in my car.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I'm totally better with that type of stuff now.
Well, you also would not do left turns.
Yeah, I'm okay with them. Yeah.
Well, you like literally just...
I wouldn't.
You refused. You flat out refused. It wasn't even a question of... It wasn't even a question of you might not. You just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was a thing for a while. I mean, you've gotten better at it, but back in, like, high school, it was like, I don't do left turns.
Oh, yeah.
I remember you said those exact words to me.
Oh, yeah. Which is really because we had multiple roads that ran parallel with each other, so I could like go a different direction and just take another like an extra couple turn and then end up in the same places.
Well, it worked well in our area.
Oh yeah.
Other areas not as well. Like if you were in my area right now, it would not work out for you.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, you couldn't even. I don't think you could even live in my development because you had to make a left turn to get into it.
Oh yeah, I'm decent at that stuff now. I've improved in a lot of places. Several people still have commented on my hairbrushes in the bathroom.
I mean, listen, you've gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah,
in the time that I've known you.
Oh yeah,
it's one of those things. Because you know what? It's all about progress, people.
Oh yeah,
that's all it is. So this has been our podcast on mental health.
Oh, yeah.
If you need mental health, definitely go see someone. If you're like struggling, definitely see someone. Generally, I recommend a combination of... I recommend going to the therapist first and then having them recommend a psychiatrist to you. But that's that's what worked for me. So, anywho. So getting back to the story.
Oh, also, my
yeah?
sister also anxiety OCD diagnosed, and it turns out I learned how to find out because she was talking to me, and they were like, I was like, wait, I know that question. That's apparently the question where if you have an actual answer, go talk to somebody, and that is, tell me about your how you leave the house in the morning, or like your morning routine. And apparently, if you have an answer, you have a problem. If you're not just I don't know, I just go to work, then you're fine. If you're just like, oh, well then, and you have any answer, go talk to somebody.
No, that's fair.
Because she was telling me about how she was like, holy crap, I didn't realize I had this problem. And as she was describing it to me, I was like, these are all the same questions everybody asked me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I got asked that too, now that I think about it.
Yeah. And I'm sure you had an answer.
Yeah, I did. I used to check the door like 3 times before I left.
Did you?
It was never consistent how many times I checked it, but I always had to check it once because I was terrified that the cats were going to get out.
I always do everything in the exact same order. And there's always everything's in the exact spot where I left it. I'll look for shit for 3 hours thinking I lost my phone, and it's just because I put it
in a slightly different place.
In a slightly different place, and I'm like, it's gone forever. It's gone forever. It's not in the only spot I put it.
Oh boy. So this is a stark insight into the lives that we live.
Oh yeah.
So reports say that Lynn was a reputable boy, not to cut it off, but we still have a lot of podcasts left.
Oh yeah. We're already an hour in, damn.
Yeah, we might have to break this into 2. I'm not sure. We'll figure out once we get to the end. However, Lynn would never tell his story to the press and never will because he passed away in 2011.
Okay.
The account we have today is secondhand from Smokey Crabtree's book, Smokey in the Fouke Monster. This story, like all stories before 1971, was only reported years after the fact, which is basically the hallmark of Cryptopedia stories that I don't really believe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But the book is kind of cool. It has a picture of a boar's head on it. And it looks like it's in Comic Sans.
That is... I have 2 least favorite fonts. One is Comic Sans, and I work in a company. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, and there are individuals who have Comic Sans just in their signature on their emails and stuff like that, and I'm like, this is not appropriate.
There's people who have it at IBM too.
There's also a font called sh.txt, which I hate, but it was driven to me to hate it because when I was in school, they would literally drop you a full letter grade if you used sh.txt, which is what's called box text in older pieces of software.
Oh, okay.
It's just a blocky, boxy looking
got it.
text.
Was it I feel like that something like that was the default for AutoCAD.
Yes. That was the default for the old Autodesk CAD packages.
Because I remember it from high school.
Yeah, you drop a full letter grade if you use that. It was box text in the German software packages. It was just called box.
Okay. Anywho, we're going to get to the part where this story really picks up, though.
Okay.
The Legend of Boggy Creek, the film.
Nice.
Not the legend. So returning to the 1970s, Charles B. Pierce enters the story of the Fouke Monster and is arguably one of the most important players ever, even though he has nothing to do with any of the sightings.
Yeah.
He was an advertising salesman from Texarkana who had seen the stories in the Gazette and became interested in producing a film about the creature. Pierce did not have the finances to produce the film, so he requested backing from a local trucking business owned by one Mr. Ledwell. Reportedly, his proposal for the film was, I want to do one about that booger that's jumping on folks down the road there. It was in the papers every morning, you know, about the Fouke monster and how it jumped on somebody else. I don't know if I believe it or not, but it sure will make a good movie. Apparently, this was a good enough pitch, and Pierce was given $100,000 to produce a movie, which would then go on to make $20 million in 1971 money.
That's a good profit.
Yeah, pretty good. So the production of the film was kind of unique at the time, and it's only really been replicated by Blair Witch and Paranormal Activity.
Okay, I can see
it's
that.
It's that kind of like
crazy
guerrilla
low budget
filmmaking
movies that go on to do well.
Yeah, guerrilla. It's like guerrilla filmmaking, right? So with the help of Smokey Crabtree, Pierce was able to convince locals to tell their stories and in some cases reenact them. The film is a G-rated horror docudrama, which is the first of its kind, mind you.
Yeah.
With most of its audio being ADR'd over as a voiceover. Something that some residents of Fouke were upset with because their voices were lost in the film. Like, some of them actually had speaking parts that got cut.
Did it do well? Like, how did Escape from Wonderland do?
Escape from Wonderland.
I think that was a movie that was all shot from like cell phones from people at Disney that tried to like make a whole thing. I think that's what it was called, but I think it got put into theaters.
Wonderland 2013 official trailer.
Like, because it was all shot in secret at like Disneyland.
Well, yeah, it looks like there's stuff from the Haunted Mansion. What? Why is this a thing? Weird. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, because like they don't let you like do shit like that at Disney. So it was a whole thing that
I can't even. So I found the trailer, but I literally can't find anything other than the trailer on this.
Okay.
There's a trailer, and it's definitely shot at the Haunted Mansion because the grave from the Haunted Mansion's featured in it, and the dude looks like the Hatbox Ghost. This doesn't look like this. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is not it, but I want to send you this because it looks great.
Let us see. Wait, what?
I found an IMDb page for an Escape from Wonderland 2017. Short sci-fi thriller, 31 minutes. And it's got a picture of a woman in front of definitely a green screen. And
yes.
The background is like a weird inverted picture of a house. I don't know. Very weird. Regardless, the film that we're talking about, The Legend of Boggy Creek, is a collection of reenactments interspersed with B-roll footage of Boggy Creek, and the monster is a literal gorilla suit with wigs sewn onto it.
Oh, good.
Yes. The film was naturally a massive B-movie hit and terrified moviegoers. Wow, I don't know how I spelled goers that way.
So that film you sent me has a budget of $2,500.
Wow.
And I'm looking at, so I'm inside like the secret portion that people can't see. It was written, directed, produced, edited. The casting director and the production designer were all the same person.
Yeah, I see that. I can see some of it.
10 people in the cast and crew.
Sometimes like numbers like $2,000. I'm looking at this and I'm like, how did this cost $2,000? I guess the Alice costumes were the thing that cost $2,000 and like probably location fees because they probably didn't pay these actresses. Because
I doubt it.
There's at least 4 women in this movie. 5 women in this movie. Oh, well, it gets weird as you click through the screenshots because now there's a woman in a bra and panties lying on a metal table that's made to look like a morgue table. It literally has a Post-it note on the table that's saying something, which I assume is like morgue table or something along those lines.
It was started in June 9th, and it was formally released on December 15th of the same year.
Wow. This is a really weird movie. I feel worse for having knowledge of this.
Yeah, you should.
Anywho.
It was apparently pretty decent, 8.4 out of 10.
And it's been voted on 7 times. So I assume everyone who voted on that is in the cast.
That's probably true.
Which is wild because that means someone rated it poorly in the cast. So the film was a hit. It terrified moviegoers and drive-ins across the country, although the citizens of Fouke would see none of the money, which resulted in an eventual lawsuit between Smokey and Pierce. I don't know how the lawsuit turned out. I didn't really care.
Yeah,
because it's just your typical person films a film, another person doesn't pay the person who filmed the film doesn't pay the people who helped him, yada yada yada. The Room. So, as is the case with most cryptids that become popular, once the Fouke monster became famous, the area was flooded with monster hunters and tourists. While some businesses, such as the local Monster Mart, attempted to capitalize on the phenomena, most of the town of roughly 500 people suffered under the influx of monster hunters. Property damage was abundant, and people flagrantly ignored the privacy of the townsfolk. Wow, can't speak. In no small part was this due to the various bounties levied against the elusive monster. I think there was one for $10,000 and at least one for $100,000. There might have been one for like $1 million. It was kind of bonkers. Yeah, it was insane. However, throughout all this, sightings continued of the creature. Everything from traveling musicians, which there's a footnote in the book about Carl Finch of the polka rock band Brave Combo seeing it on the road.
I like me a good polka rock band.
I love the fact that it's a polka rock band. To local residents. Now, not only that, but the sightings reportedly occur to this day, although more concentrated in the more rural Jonesville this day. Some say this is due to the reduction of the habitat of the creature, although I personally think that if you reduce the habitat of an ape, like a great ape, it's just going to show up in places more.
Yeah.
Because that's how deer work. So
deer and like cougars in California.
Yeah, so yeah. I don't know what they're talking about. Today, the monster has left its mark in the form of a photo-op metal monster with a face hole. So like a carrot that has a face in it, and you can take a picture that you've been on the farm.
Or like when you go apple picking, there's like a cutout of a sheep. And you can put your head in there, and it's like, oh, look, I have the head of a sheep. I'm an abomination of nature.
Basically. Yeah, things that make you turn into hell beasts. That kind of stuff. There's the local Monster Mart, as mentioned before, and a display in the local museum, and the Boggy Creek Festival, which promotes the local area and shares information about the Fouke monster. Now, I didn't go into a whole lot of the fallout because it's literally the same as every other monster story that we covered on this podcast. It's like it gets really big. The cops have to say you can't do this anymore. People ignore the cops. Eventually, it just dies down. Mm-hmm. The end. I've also attached a image in the show notes of the Monster Mart,
which is pretty great.
It's pretty great.
You can go there for your slush puppies.
Yeah, they got slush puppies. They got pizza. Make it a combo.
Oh, nice.
And there's a mural which was painted, I believe, by one of the Crabtrees. Yeah. So, the question on everyone's mind. What is the Fouke monster? A legitimate cryptid? Or something more? With the exception of the three-toed cast, the original of which was destroyed in a fire.
Oh, convenient.
Yeah. There exists no physical evidence of the creature. Additionally, the footprint is evidence. As evidence, that was supposed to be as evidence, not is evidence. I was tired when I was writing this because it was at 11 o'clock. Is most likely bunk. Dr. Shambog, an archaeologist at Southern State College in 1971, believes that there is a 99% chance that the tracks are a hoax. All the primates have 5 toes. Also, the monkey family is not nocturnal and is like humans or other daytime creatures.
So what I'm hearing is that there's a chance it's still real.
Yes, a 1% chance.
A doctor said that there's a chance it's still real.
God damn it. That's honestly, Brandon, that's literally the argument that I've seen be made for cryptids in a lot of places.
I'm sure it is.
It's really, really dumb. It's saying that, well, it hasn't been disproven, but that's not how science works. Science is the notion that you get closer to the right answer. You don't have the complete right answer. That's not what science is about. Science is about, like, I'm like 90% sure this is right.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's all
even
about, like,
gravity.
probabilities. Yeah.
Even gravity's just an explanation for a phenomena. It's like, we're pretty sure this is the way that gravity works.
Yeah.
And then we have special rules for when it's not how it works. Everything's just a model. Whatever. I could go on about that for a while. There's other podcasts that will handle it way better than I will. I'll just get mad.
Everything works because of the big dungeon master in the sky.
Honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. They're basically, in my worldview, God is a random number generator. So basically, God is a dungeon master in the sky.
There's I like the dungeon DM in the sky thing.
Because it's just a guy rolling dice and like, I didn't expect that to happen. Yeah. All right.
It's like fate is just some guy rolling a 20 going, oh, he is not going to like this.
No. It's me when I'm like, let me roll my D100.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I know it's good. Things are going to happen when the golf ball comes out.
Well, the golf ball's dead now.
I know.
Unfortunately. Rest in pieces, golf ball.
Rip Golfy.
And yeah, I bought that because Nick Dondero told me to. Like he challenged me. Yeah. He challenged me. I'm like, you want to challenge me? I've got a D100 now, dude.
You've bought a lot of stuff because I was with you and you're like, I'm not sure, man. And I'm like, just roll a D20. And if it's even, then get it. And if it's odd, then don't. And then it just always evens.
Yeah, I think your 1D20 was loaded.
It wasn't. It surprisingly wasn't.
Because it tended to go in favor of buying stuff more than not.
Yeah. I still roll 20s to make life decisions.
Fair enough.
I'll be like, if it's even this, if it's on that, and then what I do is I commit to it, roll it, and then whatever my gut feeling is on the result, if I'm like, oh shit, I wish it came out differently because I was indecisive before, then I make my decision based on that gut feeling. That's
actually probably a really good idea. Because your gut feeling, honestly, is generally what you actually believe. Well, at the very least, for people with anxiety, your gut feeling is probably the correct answer.
Yeah, and if you're having trouble getting to whatever that feeling is, be like, all right, I'm going to hard commit to whatever this dice roll is, and then whatever you feel when it comes up, that'll let you know how you actually felt and you didn't know before.
I actually like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Anywho, it's clear that I agree with this dude as well. Not only do I agree with your dice theory, but I agree with this guy saying that it's probably a hoax.
It was probably a hoax.
Because we said that like literally at the top of the episode when we looked at the footprint. So let's discount the tracks. And what we're left with is purely anecdotal evidence, which, scientifically speaking, is worthless. That being said, there are a few fun theories about what the monster could be. Here are some of my favorites.
Nice.
So the first one, it's all a hoax. I think a number of stories are probably a hoax, particularly most of the stories that came out after 1971 about things that happened before 1971. Honestly, Tall Tales is extremely likely in the absence of evidence in an area where people are like looking for monsters. Additionally, the fact that someone might be dressing up as a gorilla in a gorilla costume as a prank seems to be pretty high.
Yeah.
Because teenagers are a thing in all time periods.
Yes. They're the real monsters.
They're the real monsters. Oh, man, I heard I was watching Daybreak on Netflix, which is an apocalypse show.
Okay.
Set in Glendale, California, and it's like basically all the adults in the world are dead or zombies, and everyone who's under 18 is alive still.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's
a true hellscape.
Yes, a true hellscape. There's that, that song, like, Teenagers Scare the Living Shit Out of Me, or whatever. I don't remember who sings it. I think it's My Chemical Romance.
That doesn't sound wrong.
That doesn't sound wrong to me. One sec. This I need to look up.
Yes, MCR.
Yeah. So that was also a bit for, I think it was one of the Caution Studios randomness compilations.
Probably.
Yeah. So, like I said, hoax seems fairly likely, although I think it's different than a traditional hoax where there's like one hoaxer or something like that, but whatever. Another popular legend is that it was a circus escape.
This is the fourth thing we've done where
yeah, because you did a micro episode on this.
There was the train crash. Yeah, I did a micro episode on this. It's also the where they crossed the trestle. The
Goatman.
Yeah, the Goatman was train crash. They thought there was one of yours. I think was they thought escaped kangaroo possibly.
Yeah, that's Enfield Horror.
Yeah, Enfield Horror, and then the one we did so many I can't even remember what some were called. It was in England, and there were it was the Devil's Footprints, is what it was.
Oh yeah.
They thought possibly an escape thing.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
we have done a lot of episodes, Brandon.
Yes, we've done 58 episodes. Yeah,
kind of scary. To be totally honest. Anywho, so the theory, like you said, it matches like a lot of theories for a lot of weird things where it's like it was a circus train that crashed. Woo!
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it's like really prevalent in the area, like this myth, but it's super unlikely because there's no documentation of a crash around the time that this happened. But I love it. It's a great theory.
Yes.
Actually, no. Let me say my favorite theory is the moonshining theory.
The moonshine theory, all right.
Yeah. Another extremely popular local theory is that moonshiners came up with the monster to hide their moonshining operation.
That's good.
Which worked exactly opposite of the way that it should have.
Yeah.
Because it drew all the attention in the world.
That's true.
Not only that, but there was one other thing. I was gonna say something. This area was actually known for moonshining, as we mentioned at the top of the episode.
I'm sure a lot of places were.
So I actually think that maybe some of the events were moonshiners trying to keep people away from their stills.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but I think some of them were.
Or just big, hairy, drunk moonshiners romping through the woods.
That too. However, we live in a world where there is no Mystery Inc.
That's true.
So no one could have uncovered the old man Jenkins.
Yeah.
And I have my Scooby snacks here to consume.
Nice.
I'm gonna have one on. That's great audio.
That is such good audio. Dude, let's do some ASMR of just us eating cookies.
Yeah, I'm sure people would love that. Let me finish this cracker.
Oh, they will love it, especially all the listeners with misophonia.
Misophonia?
Yeah. That's when a rage response is triggered by the sound of people eating.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that why you're so good at trivia? Because you just know random stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anywho, Old Man Jenkins did it. That's basically what this... That's literally what this theory is. Old Man Jenkins did it. Mm-hmm. Which I love.
Yeah.
The final, and honestly, in my opinion, the most likely, is that the creature is a misidentification of local fauna.
Yeah.
Or exotic fauna that ended up in the area. So
I think misidentification of local fauna, because that's like Occam's razor.
Yeah. Well, there's two theories, right? The first is that the Ford incident was carried out by a black panther of some kind. Now, black panther is just a melanistic big cat, which is like a cat that's got black fur. That's really all it is. It honestly, that kind of tracks because the behavior that they described, like the paw, like the hand coming in, having claws, the eyes being about the size of silver dollars. Yeah. The fact that he was knocked over and attacked from behind, which is a classic kitty pattern.
Cat thing to do. Yeah.
Like that's a super cat thing to do. So and the fact that there were scratch marks that were three claws, like it's all stuff that could be a mountain lion or something that ended up in the area. Now, officially, Arkansas says that there are no pumas in the area or mountain lions or big cats. Yeah. But, I mean, cats are animals, and there could just be one that was passing through because its territory was disturbed in some way.
Okay.
But the second, and honestly the one that I think is most of the cases, and it was posited by show regular Joe Nickel, is that the creature is actually a misidentified black bear. And in the case of Lynn Crabtree's story, the one where he shot at the head, it actually matches really good because not only is the coloring right for a black bear, but the behavior of it when it's like sniffing the air is literally what a black bear does.
Yeah,
when it's trying to get
true.
understand its surroundings. Yeah.
So,
and not only that, but the description of the face, like a flat brown nose, is literally a bear, which kind of makes me wonder if Lynn, like after the fact, was like, that was probably a bear, and that's why he never talked to the news, because he's like, I don't honestly want to admit that it was just a bear. Uh-huh. And make myself look like an idiot. Because he was also a teenager at the time, so
that's true.
It's I don't know. Originally, I was going to end it there. However, I had enough time, as we mentioned at the beginning of the episode, to add another coda, which I think is the weirdest story about this whole thing. So, Smokey Crabtree, that guy who's been showing up a lot.
Yes.
Incidentally, he has a collection of folk monster artifacts and has written 2 books on the folk monster.
Yeah.
One of which, in one of these artifacts, is allegedly the body of an 8-foot tall monster that has no head.
Like it exists with no head, or someone?
Yeah, it's a corpse. There's a corpse in an acrylic case.
Like decapitation? Are we talking decapitation or head? Okay.
A decapitated corpse that he has in his shed. He acquired 3-way ownerships of this corpse after it was discovered in Texas, transferred to Louisiana, and then finally it made its way to a shack on Smokey's property. Smokey showed the body off as described in this quote from Mysterious Universe. It was believed by Crabtree and a few others that the remains of this animal might be the evidence of the long sought-after folk monster. The Crabtree secured the body, seldom showing the specimen or even photos of it. I could not find photos of it online. Okay. Apart from a local jamboree event Crabtree hosted, during which the remains were displayed under glass and shown for a small admission fee, which I read somewhere was $3.
Okay.
At the time, Crabtree described that opinions were very mixed about the creature, ranging from something that looked very human to something which, as Crabtree himself put it, part cat mixed with something else. Now, they would go on to have the body tested, and people would say, "Oh, we don't know what it is." They did a DNA test, and it's like, "Oh, we don't know what it is because we ran a $10,000 DNA test on this thing." However,
yes,
as the case with this, there might be a better explanation that happened immediately afterwards that everyone ignored.
What's that?
Shortly after the display, which effectively put the word out in the area that Crabtree had something at least might be the legendary beast of Boggy Creek, he began to get a series of unusual inquiries about the creatures. The first of these came from a man in Texas who claimed that the remains had belonged to him. Whether he had been inferring this was an exotic pet or something remains unclear. After dumping the remains in the forest near Texarkana, He then reconsidered the situation, and upon returning to where he left it, someone found and already collected the body. Crabtree did not believe the stories shared by the individual, and finding several inconsistencies in the story, along with the ability to describe the appearance of the remains, he turned this original claimant away. However, there is a story that I read in the book that I had read for this. Apparently, there was a local taxidermist who had taxidermized a Siberian tiger that was a pet who had died of pneumonia.
Yeah.
And removed the claws and the head for the and as well as the skin for the taxidermy process.
Yeah.
And then just dumped the remains in the desert, basically.
Oh, okay.
Not only that, but the person who wrote the book, Lyle Blackburn, he compared a photo that he had of it to a photo he had of a dead Siberian tiger.
Yes.
1-to-1.
Oh, fantastic.
So Crabtree just has a dead Siberian tiger, like mummified corpse in his shed that he's claiming to be the beast of Boggy Creek.
Nice.
So that's a thing. Ultimately, the Fouke monster is a local legend, and it reads more as a local legend than a credible creature, in my personal opinion. There's no evidence to support that it's a real thing. The fact that there's a ton of anecdotal stories means nothing to me. In that, like, there's there's like the fact that Bloody Mary is a legend.
Yeah.
That is like, just because there's stories about Bloody Mary doesn't mean that it's real.
Yeah.
So, anywho, that's part 3 of the Southern Sasquatch.
Nice.
Which was an accidental like trilogy that I did. I think I'm gonna move away from Sasquatch for the next one, but if I'm not successfully able to finish reading this book I'm reading for the next one, we'll probably have another Southern Sasquatch.
Yeah, let's make it a quadrilogy.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I hope everyone enjoyed their 2019 and their decade.
Yeah,
which is still weird to me.
Interesting decade.
Our website, if you enjoyed the podcast, is cryptopediacast.com. On Instagram, we're at cryptopediacast. The Twitter is also at cryptopediacast. If you want to email us with show ideas or your own personal stories, cryptopediacast@gmail.com or us at cryptopediacast.com. We have a Patreon, which is included in the show notes. Let me just check to make sure we don't have any new jackalopes. And then I think it's your turn to rattle.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, it's your turn. We have the same number of jackalopes.
Got you. Then I would like to thank our jackalopes that make everything possible. They're paying for our website. That's
literally
Clay Sinclair and Marty Von Party, who have been with us for a very long time. Clay, for a real long time.
I think it marks a year now.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's literally been a year this month.
Yeah.
So,
that's ridiculous.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
I gotta. There was something I want to work on for you guys, but I don't want to talk about it because, like, I don't want to commit to something and then not have time to do it.
Real Sasquatch body parts.
Yes.
Like a rabbit's foot, but it's the same squinchy foot.
Rabbit foots are so morbid.
Yeah.
I never got
weird.
them.
Like monkey paws.
I never got it.
Yeah.
Well, monkey paws are cursed.
Yeah.
Rabbit foots are lucky, in theory.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, if you enjoyed the podcast, be sure to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get podcasts. I think Stitcher still has no reviews, but a lot of our listeners come from Stitcher. So
are they Stitchers?
Stitcher is like Stitcher and iTunes are our two top.
I get
sources.
iTunes.
Well, iTunes is where podcasts happen.
Yeah.
Stitcher, we have like a weird amount of popularity.
Do we have any on Spotify? Wait,
we do have Spotify. We do have Spotify listeners. I think
that's weird.
Let's see.
I just think about that as music.
Spotify is 10% of our listenership. Stitcher's 25%, and Apple Podcasts is 30%.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We got in the past month 290 downloads from Apple, 246 from Stitcher.
Okay.
Oh no, 246 from Stitcher, 101 from Spotify. So.
Okay.
But I mean, Last Podcast on the Left is moving to Spotify, so they're kind of trying to set up a thing, I guess.
Interesting.
As I said before, if you got any Monster Crest or stories, be sure to send those in to any of the contact information above.
Yes.
Or any of the contact information below that has my name or Brandon's name in front of it, not Tom's.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would love to get recommendations, but I don't know if that's his thing.
Yeah. You could find me on Instagram at donkey_hands. My website is boyerb.com. My email is brandon@cryptopediacast.com, and my Twitter is @cryptobrandon.
If you want to get in contact with me, my Instagram is @mew2057, which it's got some toy pictures recently. I got a really cool Boba Fett
Nice.
really soon, and also my cat being a monster. Well, my Lissa's cat being a monster. My Twitter is @JFDunham. My website is johndunhamgames.com. And if you want to email me, it's john@cryptopediacast.com.
Our art was done by Tom Hill. You could find him on Instagram @ThomasMichaelHill. His website is greatergloryco.com, and his email is tommikehill@gmail.com.
As always, I'm John.
I'm Brandon.
And let me tell you, things are going to get really weird in 2020.
They are.
Actually is probably true.
And also,
Yeah?
let's sync.
Let's sync? Oh my God! Wow! Wow!
I would have been able to line it up. I've done it before.
That would have been terrible because we're at an hour and 27 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we started at the same time, so it's fine.
Yeah, so 3, 2, 1.
Time you wait 4 seconds, and then, oh, look, there's a whole thing. I
Testing.
talk, there's waves and stuff.
Waveform.
Waveform. Waveform if I look this way. Waveform if I look this way. I'm gonna move
wait.
my mic.
That was a really bad penis. Whoa! That was a terrible
Filthy Frank
penis.
farts funny faces.
Popping
plosives. Penis.
Okay.
Penis
I think
plosives. All right.
I got an okay penis. The balls are not great, but
Yeah.
there is a shaft and there is a head.
They're all the parts. It's fully assembled.
The penis bits are there.
Yes. All of this is going at the end of the episode.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Everybody knows how we do sound check now.
Yep.